Hey everyone, welcome back to the car channel. It's been a while, but yours truly finally got the car man back in gear, so he now knows that he's back behind the camera, right, car man?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know he's a handful, but somebody's got to do it, so I just went ahead and took the initiative. So we missed all of you and wanted to do a quick follow-up on a video that was wildly popular that we did on the Camry, the defective piston rings that were causing all of the excessive oil consumption, because that was a huge video. You can go on our channel if you haven't had a chance to look at it and take a look at how many people were in fact and are in fact having the same exact problem that I did. So I'm glad that it has helped a lot of people out, but wanted to do a follow-up because there are a few things that you probably still need to know.
How much oil were you consuming just to catch people up?
Well, my car, I was going through 2-3 quarts of oil. What was it? Probably, I think, every couple of weeks or so. Crazy amounts.
It was ridiculous, and it wasn't smoking or dripping out. It was
Right.
bypassing the pistons.
Right, which was why until Toyota finally issued the TSB, I had no idea what the problem actually was because I wasn't able to identify it. I just knew that when my oil light was flickering, which, by the way, it's too late when that's happening. You don't want that happening. But it kept doing it, so that's how I knew there had to be something bigger going on, and really started researching it, found out about the technical service bulletin. But it was not just the Camrys, it was not just the 07, which is what my particular model is. And one thing we've learned from a lot of people that have commented back on that video is that the oil consumption differs greatly. Some people are losing more than I was, some people nowhere near what mine was. So what I recommend, it is you can check your hood right here on whichever model car you have.
Let's see if I can actually get that for you real quick.
Yes, because it will tell you that's the engine. This is the 2AZFE.
Nah, I don't know if it's focused, but they can kind of see where you're pointing.
Right, so check that on your specific model if you are in fact having oil disappear. I also recommend that if you are noticing oil consumption on your vehicle at any rate, I highly recommend you contact Toyota, because my brother has exactly the same car, exactly the same engine, and for whatever reason Toyota claims that his engine isn't affected, yet he is losing oil the same way that I did, just not at the same rate. So it is a good idea, I think, if you take it in and make them, I would demand an oil consumption test. But anyway, a quick follow-up to mine. Of course, my car failed the oil consumption test. Imagine that. Now, Toyota, when they do the tests for you, you probably can't really focus in on mine because this has been about a year since my test was done. But they will mark it, and they will close it off, and they will put a tie on your dipstick. So once they test it, you are not allowed to check the oil, add oil, anything to it until you take it back in. And if you do, it voids the test. But once mine came back and had failed, the one thing that Toyota did not inform us of was the issues with the head. You're going to get all your gaskets replaced. Any metal on metal, they have to replace all of that. So when they pulled mine apart, they gave us a call and said, well, we may or we may not replace all of the pistons on this car. Not acceptable. Toyota knows what the problem is. They have the kits that are sent out to all of these individual dealers, and the kits contain the pistons, 4 of them, to do
and rings
to do this repair. So do not let your specific dealership tell you, oh, we're only going to replace 1 or we're only going to replace 2, because Toyota knows what the problem is, and they send all of these dealerships the parts to do this repair.
And the service tech actually said it's not a matter of if on these pistons, it's only a matter of when. Right. Which Toyota knows. So if they're actually going to look at you and say, hey, only replace 2 instead of all 4, basically they're trying to get you for an engine rebuild later.
And they will get you for the engine rebuild later, because they're not fully fixing the problem that already exists. You're basically putting a band-aid on a much larger problem, and then 2-3 years or whenever it happens, you're going to be looking at $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 to replace the engine yet again, only now your car is even older. The other interesting thing that they did to us was to give us a call and tell us that they were just going to clean.
Attempted is a better word.
Yeah, attempted. But they were going to clean some of the carbon, the excess carbon. And let me tell you, with this oil problem, there is a ton of hardened goop, carbon, and it needs to have all of the valve seals, the guides, all need to be replaced.
I'm going to interject right here. The valves were so crusted over, they look like a vehicle with 300,000 miles.
Absolutely.
And the head surface was just wretched. I mean, it was probably, and everybody sees my videos, it's one of the worst heads I ever pulled off of a car. Seen pulled off on this car.
Exactly. So they told us that they were just going to they were going to clean what they could. No, that's not going to work, because then you're going to have your entire head that is not new, that's not been properly cleaned, that's not been machined. So when we inquired as to the valve seals and the stems, they told us that they would only charge us, ready for this? $2,200. $2,200 to fix the head, clean it properly, do all new seals, valves.
Well, what specifically needs to be done, it needs to have a valve job. That's where they actually take the valves loose, grind them, clean them, make sure it's got a real nice tight fit, because those new pistons have such a high compression that you're really going to notice serious issues if you don't get the valve seats. Basically, you can see it in my videos, a valve job is very simple, but it needs to be done. The carbon needs to be cleaned out, because your engine on the bottom half is going to be essentially new.
Brand new one.
But what they try to do is charge you $600 to quote unquote clean it. Now, theoretically,
$2,200 for the valves.
Right, $2,200 to actually do a valve job. Now, of course, Jen happens to know the right guy, so we were able to do ours with no problem. However, that doesn't mean you as an individual. Let me get in front of the camera. Fight for it. What?
Yeah.
So, okay. The only reason I'm getting involved, she's much prettier to look at. We all know that. Although I think I'm... anyway. So, long story short, you got to get those valves out, and they got to be... They're going to clean the seats. They're going to grind them. They're going to do a valve job, is what it's called. But more importantly, to see the second if those valves come out, and even if the guys do it there and they take your valves out and they put it in them old valve guide seals, your car's going to smoke at startup.
Yes.
Period. End of story. Now, they're going to charge you, it was ridiculous what the valve stem seals were going to cost too.
It was crazy.
I don't remember what it was, but here's an inexpensive way anybody can do this. When they pull your head, say that you want to take it down to the Napa machine shop, okay? Napa will take your head, they'll do a valve job, put you some valve guide seals in it, they'll be just as good as anybody else's, period, for about $400. The whole thing's done. Or you can go play their game at $2,000. Now what they tried to do to her was throw in the fact that, well, Toyota only gives us 3 days to do this repair, so we're only going to actually give you a car rental for 3 days. After 3 days, we want the car rental back.
Or pay for it.
Right. But guys, let me tell you something. Napa is the way to go. Take the head to them. Just tell them you need a valve job and new guide seals. That's what you need. Toyota's going to try to upsell you on water pumps. Not a bad idea. If you got it while it's there, go ahead and do it. The chains are good forever. Don't even worry about that. But other than the water pump and the head job, I wouldn't worry about it. Just don't even buy the whatever they're trying to tell you or sell you. Unless you have like an extreme problem. Alright, I'll let you get back to that, but I just wanted to be very specific on what it would actually take to do this job correctly. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and you're hearing it straight from me, if you go and pull this head off, put a new gasket on it, and you don't have it planed, and you don't have the, you don't check the surface and get it all nice and clean, and then you don't get those valves all nice and clean, you're only asking for problems later.
And they do know that.
They know this.
They do know it.
But they also count on you coming back to pay them to fix it. So you can fix it right up front. That's all you need. You don't need anything else. Your motor's going to be brand new. As far as all the little stuff like the battery cable, they'll come up with all kinds of little stuff to add on to you. whatever. Pick and pack, whatever your personal preference is. The head needs to be a valve job, new valve guide seals. That's what you need. You can use any machine shop you want. I guarantee you it'll be 1/8 of the price of what Toyota's going to charge.
Absolutely.
Do not put that engine together without dropping that head off to a machine shop. All right, girl, get back over here and I'll let you do your thing.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
by the way, nice seeing y'all.
so yeah, very important stuff. I think if you guys have questions about that though, or maybe you've got an experience you want to share that will help our other viewers, please post. That is a major video. It's a big deal, and it affects the Scions too, and many different models. So can you think of anything else on the engine that we want to pass along to them? Or
no, I mean, it's actually a great little engine with the, that's funny to say that and talk about the pistons, but you know, the pistons are bad. They need to be replaced. That's bottom line. And if you, when you have it off, you've got to do the head.
And they really should include the head in this they don't, but they should, because the reason the head is in such bad shape is because of the defective piston rings in the first place. That's
exactly.
where all that junk came from.
It bypasses the piston rings, and instead of the piston rings keeping it down, it's just putting all that extra junk and gunk, like she said, on the valve ends, and it just cakes up. I mean, they look horrible.
I think I actually have pictures of mine when we went to Toyota. If I can find them, we'll maybe try to upload a couple too. You won't believe it. But yeah, we just want to make sure you guys are being treated the right way, and that you know everything you need to know going into this ordeal, so that you're not stuck later trying to pay for an engine or whatever they try to do to you. So on that note, always, if you have questions, comments, share them with us. As many of you already know, I am an avid supporter of our troops. I work year-round on efforts to make their lives and their families' lives a little better. We have a few of you on our channel. Thank you so much for your service. I am currently already starting to put together care packages to send to our deployed men and women overseas for the holidays. It's not too early to start that. Christmas is going to be here before you know it, and the mailing dates and times, of course, are totally different. So if any of our viewers want to get involved with that, want to know what you can do to help make a difference in the life of these men and women that put it all on the line for you, hit us up. Send us a comment on the channel. We'll get you in touch with the right people. You can work with me. Whatever you want to do, we'll get you set up and get you to helping these guys, and we'd be nowhere without them. So on that note, we hope some of you will. We're back. You're going to start seeing videos from us again every day. So we missed you guys. Right, Carman?
Yeah, we missed you.
Yes. You can tell how excited I'm excited.
So, hey, I'm just joking. It's, YouTube's one of those crazy things. You just, it's, we're all the same. We're all fighting the same war trying to win it. But you
actually met one of your viewers, local. She lives a mile from us, and she ran into him in a store a couple of days. She'll probably see this video.
Yeah.
But she ran into him in a store a couple of days ago and recognized him from the YouTube
She was like,
channel.
"Are you the car man?" I'm like, "Oh God, yes, I am."
But you guys are why we do it, and we hope that something we do. We see all of some of the not so nice comments too. And look, guys, at the end of the day, this is the deal. If you want to spend thousands of dollars fixing your car, making your car look nicer, by all means, it's probably not the channel you want to be on. We're just trying to help the average person that does not have thousands of dollars to go have their car painted or have repair work like this with this engine done. So we're trying to help people
keep the money in their family.
Keep their money in their, especially with the current economy, right? So on that note, we hope you'll stick with us. We're glad to be back. We missed all of you.
And subscribe.
And subscribe. Definitely subscribe. We got lots of good stuff coming.
Hey, you ever wonder what happens at the end of these videos?
Cut.
There you go.
Later.
See ya.